After 24 tumultuous rounds of action, the regular season comes down to a bash at the world's fastest half mile. 12 drivers will leave Bristol with a berth into the first round of the MSRA National Series playoffs as the series begins its 7-week run to declare one driver an MSRA National Series champion. But first, we have 225 laps to determine who will be those 12 drivers with a chance to make history. Welcome, and thank you for tuning in and joining us for tonight's action here at the virtual Bristol Motor Speedway. Joe Donahue is alongside me in the booth this evening, and we're ready for the Midwest Sim Racing Association's National Series to take the high banking and tight quarters of the world's fastest half mile. Joe, with the stakes entering so high coming to Bristol, how will the characteristics of this short track, with the difficulty of these Xfinity cars, play into determining the playoff picture for these drivers?
Well, you know, Trey, I mean, there's nothing better to say it than it's Bristol, baby. I mean, these guys love to get up on the hotches here in the MSRA, and, you know, tempers flare on short tracks, and with so much going into playoff picture, you know, you want to get that momentum to take you forward to a good championship run. If you're looking to get it, and you're on all the money, 110% to try to get into the playoffs, and all the rest of those guys are still out here to win races. So there's definitely going to be a lot of emotion and passion in this race, and I think going to be a lot of really great close racing because Bristol runs really well, and I think these Xfinity cars are just enough of a handful to make you need to drive for it.
And here we are. You're going to see this track map. As you see, we said the world's fastest half mile coming at a distance of 0.533 miles, just a little bit over half a mile. You see that short front straightaway. Then we go into turn 1 and 2, 26 to 30 degrees of banking through turns 1 and 2. Doesn't really look like much of a turn. You see it kind of straightens out. You go out into that sharp right there in turn number 2. It's where that little exit gate is going down the back straightaway. You see that going down the back straightaway. It goes down to 6 to 10 degrees of banking as we go down into turn number 3 where it goes back to 26 to 30. And out of turn 4 we go back to the front straightaway, 6 to 10 degrees of banking across the start-finish line. And that is how you get around Bristol Motor Speedway. Now, in regards to that, Joe, do you think we'll see drivers using that high line up near the wall, or is this going to be a bottom feeder meeting?
Well, I think at the start of the runs, I think it's going to be very one lane. It'll be interesting to see whether they go top or bottom. I'm expecting some bottom running, and then obviously once those tires wear out, it's going to be a really awesome race. We're hoping for some 2-lane action coming into this race. And talking about coming into this race, you talk about the point standings of the MSRA. Like we said, this is the final race of the regular season, and while the playoffs are not set up as a win and you're in type deal, you are going to be able to get some gains for the rest of the field through here. You see Tommy Gossett's the defending winner in this series, coming off a victory at Darlington, and you look at that cutoff line at 12th spot. James Love just has a little bit of pressure behind him to Matt White, and those are realistically the two guys are going to be watching to see whether or not they make it in or not to the playoffs, sparing any major difficulties for anybody else. But for the most part, things are fairly set in stone, but like I said before, it's all about momentum to try to carry yourself through to the championship race at the end of the year.
Yeah, momentum is definitely something you guys want to carry. These drivers are going to try and carry any type of momentum they get. Just because you don't have a win doesn't mean you're not carrying momentum. A top 5, a top 3, top 10 even. If you're on that close of the cut line, as you see right there, that battle for 13th, or the battle for 12th, excuse me. I mean, it's a tight battle there. All he has to do is have a good race, and he's going to have that spot. And, oh yeah, you got to factor in stage points. Stage points are a thing. So, I mean, you're going to be watching. It's going to be tight quarters racing around here, Joe. I mean, it's going to be action-packed. As you said, multi-groove racing. It's going to be tight. I'm sure these tempers are going to be flaring tonight. And I'll be honest, if we don't see sparks or at least a couple wrecked cars, then I'm going to be disappointed.
Well, that's the type of racing you get at Bristol. I mean, it's a short track. It's half mile. And there are plenty of cars out on the racetrack, and there's so much time in the race. Like you said earlier, Trey, these cars are not exactly the easiest to drive, and to all be out on track at the same time like that, that's definitely going to make a pretty big difference throughout the night. I think it's going to be very exciting. So I would say whether or not you're going to be disappointed with this one, I think you're going to be very happy to see what comes of this race tonight.
Well, speaking of what comes there, you see these cars so difficult. Evan Longacre, just getting loose in turns 1 and 2 there. That just shows you how difficult these cars are to get a handle on. I did some test laps earlier, and man, let me tell you, it was slipping and sliding. You see him low, just going down in the gears. On board with Jeffrey Meyer now. Quickest time of the session right now belongs to that driver of the 50 machine. Look at him just working that wheel. Oh, he gets a little bit loose there. He's going to run the middle line here. Oh, he's working that wheel. Oh, commentator's curse spun on right around.
Yeah, so these guys are definitely just trying their best right now to kind of figure out what their limits are as we're still working on practice and just trying to figure out the cars to, make a run of this event. This is a long race, 225 laps, obviously broken into stages with 2 55-lap stages leading to the final run to the checkered flag, which is 115. So it's going to be a lot of car management to make it that far, and these guys are, obviously, you can see, working on figuring out what their limits are so they don't make that mistake in the middle of this race.
Yeah, speaking of being a long race, I bet these guys are glad it's not 225 straight. Those stage breaks are definitely going to play a factor here on keeping your composure and everything else. Well, speaking of breaks, we're going to step away and we'll be back right when qualifying begins. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere.
SoundArt introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home by combining the best of two products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. SoundArt ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
To read. Welcome back to PitStop TV with live coverage of the MSRA National Series live here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Joined by Joe Donahue on the booth, Trey Schulzworth on production, and Jacob Zala on social media. Appreciate you guys coming out here tonight and tuning in to a wonderful, eventful night that it's going to be here at Bristol. I am so excited. It's been a while for me, and I'm ready to see what these guys have in store for you guys and us. Practice is just now wrapping up here in about 3 seconds, and these cars will roll out for qualifying. And speaking of rolling out, we're going to roll out our thanks to the series sponsors here at the MSRA National Series. First, we have Rapid Fire Pizza. They offer amazingly good, amazingly fast, fresh-made pizza. It's what we can do in 180 seconds. If you can try one of our craft pizzas from over 35 fresh toppings and a dozen different sauces to create your own masterpiece, you can visit their own rapid-fired pizzas in the states of Indiana, Kentucky, North Carolina, Ohio, South Carolina, Texas, and West Virginia. Check out their website at rapidfirepizza.com. Also, we have Old School Ninjas. Old School Ninjas is a gaming organization that focuses on building a community with close friends. They welcome new individuals to the group with a red carpet and a seat at the round table. Feel free to check out their Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Discord. They await your arrival. And last but not least, we have Shorebuzz Racing Graphics. They offer great services at affordable prices. SRG does work with iRacing paints, logos, numbers, heck, even t-shirts. $5 from each sale are donated to the Midwest Sim Racing Association in-season prize giveaways as a way of giving back to the community. Visit them on Facebook at Shorebuzz Racing Graphics. Cars are on track here at Bristol Motor Speedway. You see David Santini down, stopped after they're running his first lap. He's quickest right now with a 14.962.
Yeah, Santini sitting up at the top, and Hutchinson right behind him. I mean, what, 0.003 of a second? You see Kenny Meadows on your screen right now. He pulls to a stop after running a third-place effort, just barely under a tenth off right now. You can see just up at the top of the leaderboard, these numbers are so close, and it's just proving how close these drivers are to each other and to the wall. Here is Julio Villalobos now on the money here through 3 and 4 in the number 45 as the security speed car is going to come diamond off the corner, try to get the most out of this lap. We'll see if he can better himself. He was sitting in 7th place. He gets a better lap time, doesn't move up the order, though, for that 45 machine.
Yeah, as you mentioned there, I mean, just looking at the top 3 lap, I mean, the top 3 lap times right now are under a tenth of a second. I mean, the gap between first and second, 0.003 of a second as Villalobos is still going. Ricky Flowers coming out to make his first lap as he's exiting pit road here at Bristol Motor Speedway. He's going to come out, exit onto the back straightaway, get up into the gears. You see second gear getting ready to round up into third gear, and he will come to his first lap here. Timing started.
Flowers kind of running in the middle of the track here through 1 and 2. He kind of stays low, not going to get much of an apex into turn number 3. Kind of a surprising line right here for the number 2 machine as he's going to try to rifle off of turn 4. Past the line, the expectation isn't super high, and Ricky Flowers is going to run P9. He is the slowest of the cars to set a lap time so far. He's going to kind of get his bearings a little bit, try to get a little better on lap number 2 here.
You see he got a little bit tight there coming out of turn number 4. You saw he didn't, just really didn't arc the corner that well, as you mentioned earlier. You're not really getting a good apex there, but he's going to stay at 9th. Meyer's also going to go down to 10th.
That was a pretty serious incident right there on the front stretch for Jeff Meyer coming past the line. Tommy Gossett also backwards on the racetrack. So, we're trying our best out here, just trying to find that fair edge, the absolute line in the sand of how far you can push that car to get a good lap time in. There's plenty of guys left to try to give it their own shots, so we'll see if we can get anybody else out on the track.
So looking further back, we mentioned Tommy Gossett was the defending race winner last time the MSRA series hit the track. He is currently sitting P7. So, I mean, not a terrible lap for Tommy, but definitely not what he wanted to see. I know Tommy. I know he's probably not thrilled with that lap, and I know he's going to be determined to get up to the front. He's really ambitious. He's going to try to get up there. But he's got some work to do. He got some fast guys out here. We got 25 seconds. Doesn't look like anybody is out on track at the moment. So I think the field is set. We will find out here in about 20 seconds. And from the looks of it, it looks like David Santini will be leading us to the green flag here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Yeah, so as those numbers tick away, Santini obviously set that really great lap time. Hutchinson and Meyer right behind him as well. I think Gossett, you talk about Gossett trying to move up from 7th. Not too bad, but plenty of good drivers in front of him.
With that being said, qualifying is now over, and it's time for these cars to grid up and we will welcome you to tonight's grid. Starting first on the inside line, we have our pole sitter, the 79 of David Santini, to his outside starting second, the 51 of Ralph Hutchinson. In row number 2, starting third, we have Jeffrey Meyer in the 50. To his outside starting P4, we have the 96 of Kenny Meadows. Starting P5 on the inside, we have John Gifford in the 81. Starting to his outside, the 16, Matthew Gelder. Starting 7th on the inside line, we have Tommy Gossett in the 21. As we mentioned, the defending race winner. To his outside, we have Timothy Davis, in the 92. And rounding out our top 10, we have TJ Crampton in the 61. And rounding out the top 10, we have Julio Villabolos.
You roll back to 11th on the grid on the inside. You got that number 2, Ricky Flowers. And to the outside of this one, car number 10 is Colby Baber. Starting on the 13th position, Jacob Longacre, and 14th spot is, a little technical, Jacob Shorba, sorry about that. Kyle Mollering starting 15th on the grid with Caleb Smith, who's outside in 16th spot here in car number 6. And then rolling off 17th is going to be John Binder in the number 83 machine, a little familiar name, and Chris Hansen starting on the outside in the number 20 car. On row number 10 for the starting lineup, you got Cody Jordan in the number 9 machine and Chandler Hayden to his outside in 20th. And then finally on the grid all alone in row number 11, Richard Clement in car number 4.
Actually, from looking at race control there, it looks like Tommy Gossett was given an EOL penalty, so he will be starting last here at Bristol Motor Speedway, so he is going to be forfeiting the 7th position all the way back to 21st.
So that's going to move everybody up that is behind Tommy Gossett, and that's going to be pretty important for these guys. You're starting inside, outside. It's all dependent. Where do you want to start right now, Trey Patton? You want to start on that outside line, or you want to be on the inside?
I can tell you right now, the pace car pulls in. I want to be on that inside line. I want to be on the inside line. This pace car is going to pull in next time. I thought he was pulling in this time, but I forgot. On short tracks, iRacing makes this go around twice. So, I don't know, man. I think the inside line is going to be the move here. Obviously, he has discretion on when he wants to start, as long as it's in that restart box. So, I mean, honestly, I think getting on here, not much grip on the track. I think the bottom is going to be the way to go, and then eventually it's going to work its way up to the top. Here we go, coming down the back straightaway for the final time before the green flag drops here at Bristol Motor Speedway. 225 laps. Stage 1 ends at lap 55. And here we go. The lights are out. Green flag. David Santini takes the green flag here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Out of turn number 2. Hutchison down to the bottom. They're going to be too wide, but he's not going to quite get there. Santini leads lap number 1.
Those fresh tires worked up top for Santini that time as well. Looks like Kyle Meadows going to try to make some run down the inside right here, or at the outside rather, as Hutchinson goes to the top now, and Meadows trying to lock that diamond. He did so. Hutchinson got a little bit loose, but plenty of momentum. Takes that number 51 car to second spot. As Santini up front, plenty of room, and he goes fastest.
Yeah, Santini's got all that clean air. Clean air is going to matter. You wouldn't think it would matter at a track like Bristol, but let me tell you, I don't care where you are. That clean air is everything. Looking here now, you see that gaggle of cars all the way back to about 8th or 9th right there. They are going their single file on board with Meyer right now. Contact further back. Meyer down to the inside. Looks like he got a hold on that thing right there, but man, that was bad. 3 wide, the 95's around, the 38's also around. We're still, up into the wall. That's over. Almost. Caution is out. Evan Longacre just took it into the wall there. Oh, my Lord.
Wow. That was such a great save, and then half a lap later, nothing to do. I mean, this is just going to be more and more cars piling in. It's a short track. You know, what do you expect? But you got Longacre on the outside right now. That number 81 car, as they come through the corner, just 3 wide. What are you going to do? You're so close together. Ricky Flowers just gets passed right there, and I mean, there's nothing really you can do once you start piling into a crash like that.
No, I mean, right here, I mean, you just run out of room. You see Flowers down there in the 38, and just ran out of room. I mean, you can't go 3 wide at Bristol. And if you make it 3 wide, let me know how you do it. Because, man, it is hard. It's tight. I don't know how they would have made through that. You're going to see it here. Oh, the big TV Jumbotron was kind of in the shot there. But, man, I'll give credit to where credit is due. Those drivers on the brakes right there, excellent job to avoid more collision. Props. My hat's off to you guys. That was phenomenal.
Yeah, that was pretty good driving in total to get around it. I mean, we talk about Bristol being a short track. You're so close together, and it's hard to avoid something like that. But at least getting past it and not having major damage is, I would call it an absolute win, being so early in this race. You go into the pits, get yourself prepared. You can work your way back up through the field. You've just got to put yourself in that right mindset, give yourself some time, and be patient. You can get back up there. So not too terrible for everybody involved, but definitely not the start they wanted.
So with that being said, Joe, we're going to take a break. We're going to step away here for just a second. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right here live on PitStop TV. Welcome back to PitStop TV. We're about to go green. Santini and Hutchison still on the front row. Gonna go green on lap 10 of 55 here in stage number 1. The pace car's in. Green flag. Santini with another great start leads into turn number 1. Down the back straightaway, the 96. Meadows trying to get into the mix here. He's side by side with Hutchinson. Not going to let him get away with that easily. 2 wide. Going to be making a battle for that lead here soon.
Matt Gelder is starting to get into this picture as well. Santini is running very well up at the front end, but Kyle Meadows just proving that Toyota Supra is hooked up at the moment. Now everybody kind of runs up to the top line, and as I say it, he goes purple. Kyle Meadows drives that number 96 to the top of the timing charts. Still trying to figure out a way around Santini right now, because Santini can block the bottom really nice and also rip around the top side well.
Yeah, Santini's just got that thing dialed up, as that we just talked about. Got it dialed up. He takes the fastest lap here. But Kenny Meadows is definitely not going to let Santini get away with that. Hutchison still hanging around in the mix there. We got Gelder and Crampton also a little bit further in the back. They're a little further back, but they're not too far back. You can put them under a blanket, essentially. I mean, it's a second seems like far enough, but really here, I mean, a second is everything.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, any track that you go to that you run a sub-20-second lap time is a very important second. You know, to be able to have that second advantage or deficit is a big deal. So these guys right now, they're running away pretty well at the very beginning of this race. It's only time will tell kind of what their car is doing overall. You can run away at the start, but if you're not managing that car, it's going to fall off and everybody's going to catch right back up and soar right past you again. So these guys obviously well versed to these cars, but you got to watch out for that strategy of, are they using their car up too early in the run as Santini goes purple again.
We have a yellow on the racetrack. Not quite sure who that is, but around on the front. Cody Jordan around on the front straightaway. That 8 machine all been up on the front end. We're going to take a look here and see exactly what happened to Cody.
Yeah, so we'll get this replay back here. So we got Cody just running on his own, loose in the middle of the corner. He got a little, as we like to call it, squiggly wiggly. This is the track that we coined that term at, and you can see Cody just kind of got out from underneath himself and was able to minimize the amount of damage he put on that race car here one more time. Just that little death wiggle in the middle of the corner, lost control, sliding to a halt, a little bit of a tap on the inside wall, and then a little bit more for good measure. But Cody didn't get too much damage, and just like that first yellow we had, not too much early in the race. You just be patient. You can get this back underway and get a good race out of this tonight still.
Yeah, he did a good job getting on the brakes and not locking the car up on the middle of the banking like that. Because when you lock the car up here at Bristol, or really just any car, or any track, just you see right here, just lock it up right there. If he would have locked it up any bit further, he would have went straight into those barrels.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And you can, as a driver, you're always trying to optimize your situation. So, Cody could have been trying to get that car straight, could have throttled it a little bit, or just any sort of different move that he could have pulled that might have put him back in the way of traffic, sent him into those barrels. I mean, all that kind of stuff. It's hard when you're driving a race car, whether obviously in real life it's a little different than a simulator, but the mindset of being in that situation, you have to be very quick thinking, and sometimes you just have to get on the brake and just let it happen.
That's right. I mean, you don't want to end your race, obviously, especially with something that early on in the race, but you also don't want to end someone else's championship hopes, or even just a good race in general.
100%. It's one of the most crucial parts of the night. And, you gotta, as much as you want to beat everybody else too, another part of it is you're not beating yourself. You gotta keep control, but also don't take too much from yourself, as some of the guys more towards the tail end of the field came into pits right there, but the leaders stayed out front. And for the moment, no trouble up front for David Santini. He's going to lead a couple more laps here behind the pace car before we go back to green flag racing.
First driver to pit looks like Ricky Flowers, currently sitting in 13th. A couple guys further on back behind him looks like Jeffrey Meyer, Richard Clement, Kyle Mollering, looks like John Bender. About 5 guys have been to pit road since the start of this race. Looks like they all just came in under this caution. So we are getting doubled up here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Lights are off on the pace car. Or maybe they're not. Looked like they were off. No, they are off. Man, I need to clean my glasses there, guys. Anyway, lights are off. We're going to go green here on lap 22 of 55 here in stage 1. Remember, there's 3 stages. Stage 1 ends at lap 55. The pace car makes that hard left turn. We're going to be up and through the gears. Santini hard onto the gas, going down into turn number 1. Down to turn number 2, TJ Crampton working that top side, working the outside there on top of Hutchison. He's trying to make it work, but they're not going to let him go anywhere. Meadows all over David Santini.
TJ Crampton got a great restart right here, and he's getting himself into this picture with these top 3 guys that we've been watching all the way through these first 23 laps of this event. Santini and Meadows kind of not running single file, but running right one in behind the other. You can see Meadows kind of trying to search down a little further onto the racetrack or Santini stays up high as Meadows tries to do that. Right now, TJ Crampton made that pass on Ralph Hutchison for third placer on board with Kyle Meadows. As you can see him just try to find a way to diamond into that corner a little bit better than Santini, make up small amounts of time, maybe soon be able to make that pass. But, with so much time left in this race, you've got 30 laps before you even hit the end of stage 1. Might be wise to just kind of preserve those tires and get to the end of it.
Oh yeah, preserving tires here is definitely a must. I mean, this place will eat up your tires so quick if you do not do anything. Did you see TJ Crampton also works his way up into 3rd position? He's trying to make his presence known here at Bristol. What a drive.
Absolutely, and it's so early in this race, it's surprising to see we have these guys come up to the front end of the field and just make noise on restarts right now, and you don't want to count out Tim Davis, who's running in 5th spot with a pretty solid run at the moment as well. But TJ Crampton running a really consistent and nice line through both of these corners, taking care of that car. You can see it from the outside that 61 car is getting preserved. He's taking care of his baby right now. He wants to get as far as he can before that car starts getting a little loose underneath him.
Talking about getting far, David Santini has stretched that lead out to almost 0.7 of a second. We're going to go further back there. You see Evan Longacre after that spin on the first yellow. He's back here in that gaggle of cars. We also have Cody Jordan in that mix as well. What a gaggle of cars here. We got 1, 2, 3, about 6 cars just in the mix here. Longacre leading that pack. They're 2, oh, into the wall. Who was that? 1, 2 cars around. Tommy Gossett? Was that Tommy? Oh, they're wrecking some more.
Oh, man, Ricky Flowers got pulled into that. Chris Hansen. Oh, that was so unfortunate. Those guys were all running to try to stay into the top 10. That was about 7th through 12th, and that incident just right in the middle of that pack, I think, got Tommy Gossett, who's running to try to make it into the playoffs right here. You're watching along with Tommy as he's going down the inside of Cody Jordan right here. And Cody, just a little bit too much rotation off of turn number 4, sends him into the wall, and then it's a car on track, and everybody's trying to avoid it. Ricky Flowers not so fortunate, same with the 20 car behind him.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate for Tommy, you know. Cody just got the gas a little bit too much and just got right hooked. I mean, there's nothing you can do to avoid a right hook like that. I mean, you see the pace car getting in on the action there as well. I know Tommy is not thrilled about that, the entire rear end. Oh, a little bit extra contact there. I don't know if that was intentional, but
reverse is in a completely different place than first gear is, so that I don't know. But Chris Hansen definitely wouldn't be happy with what just happened. Maybe a little bit of frustration coming out on the track. Like we said, emotions there are aplenty at a short track, and especially Bristol right here. Just Ricky Flowers in front of him, coming down, trying to avoid contact with other cars. Nothing Chris would have been able to do. I mean, maybe it wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect.
I think he could have slowed down a little bit more. You see Ricky Flowers right here. He gets slowed down quite a bit, but unfortunately just down under braking. I mean, these cars are a pain to try and get a handle on. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what traffic looked like behind him. You know, he may have been able to slow down more. He may not have been able to slow down a bit more. I'm not sure. But needless to say, it happens. You know, I mean, what can you do?
Yeah, and I mean, you know, Trey, especially you be able to speak on behalf of how difficult these cars are to slow down. So, you know, you say slow down a lot. It didn't look like it was a lot, maybe, to the untrained eye, but it was, you know, he was definitely working it as best as he could right there, Ricky Flowers. So it was a tough break, and nothing really that he could do, just kind of situational stuff. Unfortunate here in the middle part of the stage of this race.
And that's the thing. It's situational, but it's also... You're at Bristol. You have to expect things like this to happen. It's like going to Martinsville and expecting that you're going to have a clean car. It doesn't happen.
Yeah, for sure. It's short track rate. It's short track racing. You know, it's the way things are. And you can't get out of the way of that sort of situation. You just got to roll with the punches and, you know, try to have a good mentality about it. It's tough, you know, to go to a short track and have that positive mentality, positive outlook. But I mean, you look at that ticker. We got just under 200 laps left in this race. That's so much time, you know, and these guys are running really well when they're all strung out, and, you know, should be plenty of opportunities. Strategy can play a huge difference. There's some guys coming down the pit lane right now, get some damage repaired and, you know, get maybe some fresh tires or fresh fuel in the cars, getting ready to go on this restart here as they go double file in 1 and 2. We'll give them the green flag when they come back out of turn number 4. They're going to get back up on the haunches again, so we're going to be watching to see who's going to capitalize on this restart.
And that's the thing, Joe. You talk about coming and capitalize on getting that damage fixed. These guys do not have a fast repair, so they need to capitalize on any time they can get under these yellows to get that damage repaired. With that being said, we are getting ready to go green again here on lap 37. Pace car is in. We are green. Lap 37. David Santini leads us to the green flag once again. Out of turn number 2 into turn 3, starting to single file out. Meadows trying to get into the mix here, trying to work the bottom side. Not going to quite get there yet, but Hutchison also not trying to leave his name out of the mix.
Ralph Hutchinson got enough of a restart there to stay inside the top 3, boots TJ Crampton back to 4th. Tim Davis still running inside that top 5 right now. Santini and Meadows kind of led the way. Looks like Hutchinson's kind of lurking a little bit. Now he falls off in the entrance to the corner. Diamond's off the turn really nicely, so he kind of backs out of the turn. You can see Meadows and Santini gap him a little bit in the middle of the corner, and then when he gets off of it, that's when Ralph makes up his time. So right now he's trying to sort of go in early, trying to get the run started quicker out of that corner, bring that momentum down the front straightaway. It looks like it's working for him, so maybe within a couple laps it'll give him enough of a chance to get down the inside of Meadows, maybe Stantini too, and try to take some laps in the lead. But right now these three, they look like they're running fairly different lines through corners, and they're all running about the same speeds.
Yeah, right now it's working out for David Santini. You see him kind of working that wall. Speaking of in the wall, looks like we're good. Thought I saw some smoke in the background there, but it looks like everything's running good. Yeah, Ralph, I mean, he's trying to run that wall. It's starting to come in. I mean, once these tires start wearing in, we get grip on the racetrack. I mean, these guys are going to be running up towards the wall. I mean, you see here, he's right on the back bumper of Meadows. Oh, he got under the brakes really hard there. He's going to diamond it down to the bottom and try to see what he can do. He's not going to quite make it work, but man, he is getting there, and it's just about 10 laps to go here in stage 1.
Yeah, one thing that I think you don't think about a ton of the time with racing is the experimentation that goes on the racetrack throughout a race. You know, the cars change so dynamically, the track changes, conditions change, competitor driving changes. Meadows actually got a piece of the wall right there out of the corner, and that might give Hutchinson an opportunity to use this little move. He diamonded off before, stays low, doesn't get there, but Meadows dives really deep, goes all the way up to the wall to try to keep that momentum going. So right now, Ralph Hutchinson's kind of learning what this car is going to be able to do, maybe setting up practice runs at a run off this corner to make that pass. So, you know, maybe he's not going to make that pass every time, but he's certainly going to try to figure out where his car's running and see where he can maybe get that edge on Kyle Meadows.
He's definitely working that wheel all over the place, but them battling like that has allowed Santini to stretch that lead out even further, almost 1.3 seconds now. They're going to be side by side coming out of turn number 2. Will he get it going into 3? Still side by side at the quarter panel. He's going to run the bottom, and he clears them out of turn 4.
Got about 7 laps left in this stage, and we've got a pass for second place. TJ Crampton is making his face known. That number 61 is getting into the picture here. We got a 3, maybe 4-car battle for second place. Santini's basically checked out right here, but Hutchinson leads this way now as Kyle Meadows kind of falls into the grasp of TJ Crampton. We'll see if that 61 car can figure out a way around. And then you got that number 92. Tim Davis is lurking as well.
Yeah, Tim Davis has quietly been lurking. I mean, he started 8th. He's in 5th right now. I mean, 3 spots doesn't seem like a lot, but I mean, in the short amount of time we've had green action, I mean, we've been green for maybe half the stage, maybe a little bit more. I mean, he's made up ground. 3 spots is quite a bit. 3 laps to go here in stage number 1, and we're going to have a battle here for 3rd.
Crampton goes to the bottom, tries to slingshot off that line. Meadows up top. He used the momentum and stays out front for now. Crampton in the middle of the corner, pulls it side by side. 2 Toyota Supras past the line again. Crampton tries again on the bottom. This time he gets the nose on the number 96. Santini has checked out. He will come past the line again, and very shortly after will be able to take a stage win, sparing any major problems. These two still side by side for 3rd place. Crampton staying down low. Meadows holding his own on the top side. The momentum. Ooh, is Crampton trying to pull up a little bit? Oh, he tried to squeeze him right there out of the corner.
Going into turn number 3, white flag is out here in stage number 1. Pit road is closed. David Santini has 2 more sets of corners until he brings home stage number 1 here at Bristol Motor Speedway through turn number 3. Got some lap traffic here. Come on now, just take it easy. You got 30 feet. Stage 1, David Santini's your winner. The battle right there, I'm not quite sure who got that. I think Crampton passed Meadows right there.
Yeah, that was so close at the line right there, but Crampton did get it on the inside line, just rifled off the bottom side of that corner, something that Ralph Hutchinson was practicing for so long, and TJ Crampton was able to learn that and use it to his advantage at the end of the first stage of this race to get into that top 3 with that 61 car up there and maybe get himself some good starting position for the second stage of the night. But what a run to the end for those 2 drivers, 3rd and 4th, Crampton and Meadows.
Yeah, those guys put on a heck of a show. I mean, there was battling and good racing throughout the whole field. But, man, let me tell you, those last probably 7-8 laps of stage number 1 right there, that was a heck of a battle. TJ Crampton, Meadows, Hutchison, Tim Davis also getting up in the mix there. Those guys were working that wheel, and I know they're pretty tired after that because this place puts some wear and tear on you.
Oh, yeah, for sure. In between and everything as they come down to the pits, so it'll give them the opportunity to kind of slow things down and take a breather, get a quick drink of something, just kind of readjust the hands on the wheel right here as the whole field comes down the pit lane. Santini's going to lead us through, and most of these guys are going to come around to the second pit lane, kind of a unique part of Bristol to have 2 sides of the pit lane right here, but Santini leads them around, and this is going to be an important part of this race too, as you got a couple cars did not come down the pit lane, but the race off of pit road is going to be just as important as the race on the track right now.
You want to talk about that, Joe? Look at Hutchison. He is in the lead right now going to his pit box.
Yeah, that run down the inside right there, he just ran a little bit closer to the inside wall, and then Santini and Hutchinson, the 2 of them, those 2 cars right in front. We're waiting for these guys to all get repairs and everything. A couple guys going off from the back. Oh, gee, that was close. I think Hutchinson. No, yeah, Santini's gonna not allow that. He got off quicker, but what we are going to be able to do is take a quick second and talk to this guy, David Santini. We'll hand him to Trey Patton. He is stage 1 winner.
Yes, David Santini, he just dominated stage number 1. I mean, started from the pole, led every lap of stage number 1. 55 laps led already. Man, how does that car feel? I mean, you are on rails right now.
Oh, it feels great. I hope it stays that way. A couple of these other guys have really fast those first 2 laps. They can almost make a move on me. But it seems like after a few laps, then car really comes in there.
So from what I'm seeing here, it looks like you're working the top and then kind of running the middle. Is that the preferred line right now? I figured, I thought the top would come in later and once the track grips up. I mean, it's been 55 laps. Maybe the track's more gripped up a little more than I thought. What's the preferred line right now?
The bottom seems to be the fastest. Once I got a little bit of distance on those guys, I was trying to run the top maybe to see if I could keep my tires a little cooler, not wear them as much. So I was kind of running the top, and then I'd go back to running the bottom to see if the laps were still there, and they were. So I don't know, just kind of running around, searching for speed, seeing where it's at, seeing how it feels. But so far, everything feels pretty good. So
well, I can tell you right now, searching around, finding speed, you've definitely found it. Looks like here, I mean, actually, they've extended the yellow here, so I'm going to try and throw in another question. So, I mean, with that being said, I mean, who do you have your eye on to watch out for? Who should we look out for? Who's a threat to you?
I mean, all these guys up top here are for sure. I mean, you got Ralph and TJ, Kenny. I mean, all these guys up here, they have speed. They're not up here because of anything else other than they're fast. So, yeah, any of these guys up here, really.
Alrighty, well, they have definitely showed their strengths, and you have shown yours. We're going to get you back in your channel, get you ready, prep for stage 2. Just wanted to congratulate you and good luck on stage number 2. We might be talking to you later.
Yep, thanks, guys.
All right, that is stage 1 winner, David Santini. Led every lap of this race so far. Can he continue to do it for stage number 2? We're going to find out as we're coming into turn number 3. Lap 63 once we go green. This will be the start of stage number 2, and it will end at lap 110. Pace cars in with a hard left-hand corner here. We are into the lead here, down to turn number 1. Santini on the bottom. Out of turn number 4, Mullering's going to hold the lead there, but Santini is not. Oh, Mullering into the wall. They're going to keep it green. And caution's out, wrecking in the back.
Oh, we got a lot of cars in the wall and all over the racetrack in turns number 1 and 2 right there. Kyle Mullering stayed out under the yellow, or under the stage brake yellow, that is, did not come into the pits. That's why he was the leader. And you can see it kind of bite him in the tail why he didn't get that fresh rubber. But we go further back in the field for this yellow. Cody Jordan is there in the number 8 car on the inside. You got the 16 of Matt Gelder. And you are following along with him as he just comes into that corner. Somebody's spinning up in front of him, and the rest of these guys just piled in. That 81 car Gifford right there, and it's, just coming into this incident. There's already stuff going on. Tommy Gossett involved too.
We're gonna take a look here. Oh, just 2 cars spinning up ahead, and that's just a victim to I don't even know. I mean, it's just unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, you get off of that stage brake, you take your hands off the wheel, you kind of get the blood flow back in them, you get yourself ready, the hype, anticipation for this start to get some more green flag laps in, and just gets out from underneath you a little bit. Cold tires, they're just as much trouble sometimes as worn out tires, and I think Cody Jordan seeing that firsthand as well as the rest of these guys. Tough break for those guys. They were more towards the tail of the grid there, so they were just trying to get through those first couple laps and get things spread out and see if they could maybe make up a couple extra spots. That is not the way to do it.
Yeah, I think cold tires definitely played an effect into that there, but also, I mean, we did see Mullering into the wall, so they might have checked up a bit for that because, typically if you get sucked into the wall here at Bristol, you're sucked into that wall, or you're going to bounce off. But, I mean, he did a good job of keeping a handle on that race car, but I think these guys were just kind of expecting the worst and just may have overreacted a little bit there. But, I mean, it's Bristol. It happens. It's just kind of one of those things. You got to move on. It's a long race, like we mentioned earlier. Come down the pits, get your car fixed, do what you can. We got 150 laps to go.
Yeah, there's plenty of time to make something out of it still. And there's not too many cars on this racetrack as, from that incident come down to get some repairs on pit lane. They talk about this grid. There's 21 cars that started this race. We're not quite at that point, but we do have plenty of drivers out on the track still from that initial start. And I think, with as many cars as we do, it's just enough to fill the field up, fill the track up that it'll be exciting. It'll be something like that. So it shouldn't be too bad. Hopefully we'll be able to get some more laps in here, get a couple green flag runs in, kind of see where these guys line up for long run cars. We really haven't looked at how good some of these cars could be on long runs. We've been basically just staying short so far.
Yeah, I'm really anxious to see how these guys are on the long run, because I know they've been probably just anticipating, 10, 15 laps. I mean, that's how it was the first little bit of that race. I would love to see a long run here to see if Hutchison or Crampton, Tim Davis, Meadows, maybe figure out the long run strategy to see if they can unseat Santini from the lead. With that being said, we're currently on lap 69, coming to lap 70 here once we approach the green flag. The pace car, once again, is going to take that hard left into pit lane. And here we go, coming to lap 70, stage number 2 here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Onto the gas and through the gears. David Santini leads us to lap 70, green flag here at Bristol. Santini with a great jump there. I mean, 0.3 of a second on the restart there. I mean, he's gapped it, but man, Hutchison got a great run there, and he is all over him. He's not letting him run away with this one.
Oh, I think Tim Davis maybe skipped the wall a little bit there, but look at Hutchinson just back up in the corners out of turn number 4. I think that's the fastest car on the racetrack. Yes, it is. I called it. You heard it here first, folks. Ralph Hutchinson goes purple on that lap. Just absolutely on the binders. The afterburners are on for the number 51. He's trying his best to find a way around Santini right now, but David's got things held up, and look at that. What a period on that sentence. David Santini goes faster in the number 79.
And these guys are hooked up. I mean, they're in their own zip code right now. I mean, they've got 1.3 seconds back to TJ Crampton. I mean, he just needs to focus on what's ahead of him, and that's nothing. Santini needs to focus on what's behind him. He doesn't need to mirror drive. That's one thing that's going to mess him up if he's looking in that mirror. You need to worry about what's in front of you and drive your race. As long as he does that, he'll be fine, and that looks like he's doing that there. Further on back, you see Timothy Davis in that 92 under fire from Cody Meadows right now. Or Kenny Meadows, I'm sorry. But, man, I think I see what you said. I think he might have gotten into the wall there, Joe.
Just a little bit off of that initial start, but Tim Davis definitely holding onto that car well right now, kind of running up to the top side. Meadows down on the bottom, and Baber right behind them as well, kind of making this a nice show of a couple cars. We've seen Davis and Meadows going at it at the front end of this field for the majority of the first stage. We're into the second one here, and sparing that yellow, we've had the green flag kind of spread out a little bit, but they're proving they're staying right with each other at this moment in time. On board with Kenny Meadows as we run down the back straightaway and into the corners. Again, you can see he got a little bit better run into the turn than Davis did, and out of the turn a little bit as well. But the middle of the corner is where Davis is allowing himself to keep the rear end of that car wide and stay in front of the car.
Yeah, the middle lane is honestly one of the best ways to go here. I mean, you don't get too tight, you don't get too loose, you're far enough from the wall, you're far enough from the apron. I mean, it's just really just that median point. It sets the car really well. I mean, and honestly, at that point, if you're in the middle of the track, he's going to pass you up high because there's enough room. There's not enough room to pass at the bottom unless you're trying to dive it. I mean, that's really the kind of spot you want to be if you don't want anybody to pass you.
I think a big part of that, too, right now, Trey, is that these tires are still pretty young, and you can't really get as much of the momentum bias out of the turns as later in the run. So you're absolutely on the money with your statement there, and I think that over time it might change, but for the moment that's kind of just the way things are. You're watching John Binder right now, and so he's coming out of the corner and trying to stay in front of that 45 machine of Julio Villalobos, who's really running it down to the bottom side, has some speed. So this is a nice little battle between these two guys right here to try to stay in 8th place for Binder and try to get into 8th place for Villalobos.
You want to talk about the battle for 8th right there. That's the battle for 8th. I mean, we just mentioned that. You want to talk about getting spread out. These guys are 5.5 seconds behind David Santini right now.
Yeah, it's just spreading out, and it's really nice, you know, because they can get a longer green flag run in. We're going to be able to see maybe whose cars are a little bit better hooked up for those long runs, and maybe who's using up their cars a little too quickly. That's the type of thing that we didn't really get to see a ton of in stage 1, so it maybe will change the way things are running and change the bias and the momentum that some of these guys are going to be able to carry. For the moment, though, Villalobos is making a heck of a show of us right now, running in 9th and trying to get around this 83 machine. He's proving it's not easy, though.
No, it's definitely not easy. You see that car, as you said, what was that term? Squiggly wiggly?
That's the one.
Man, I mean, he is all over the place. You see, he's going to stick it down to the bottom. He's going to clear himself down the back straightaway to turn number 3. What a power move by Villalobos. Here he goes, and he's going to make it stick. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool to see, but at the same time, you look at John Binder is not falling off yet, so a little bit right here, but it looks like those cars are fairly well balanced right now. Villalobos, it's kind of concerning about is he using that car up too quickly. And, you know, you're coming to, we're going to have 20 laps to go next time by about for these guys to get to the end of stage 2. You come in, get some fresh rubber, kind of set yourself up for that 115 lap run to the finish. As we got one off the pace a little bit right here, or at least falling into the grasps of Longacre, is Colby Baber, and gets passed on the outside. Longacre pushes himself up to 6th place, and number 10 machine falls back one more. And Longacre, definitely a lurking driver, somebody I think we're going to, probably a smart eye would watch out for as we continue through stage 2.
It's been a little quiet. We got a car down on the bottom side here on the apron. Not quite sure what's going on there. Matthew Gelder coming down into pit lane. I'm not sure what happened there, if he got into the wall or maybe trying to just come in for some extra service. He's going to be giving up the 5 laps down there, so not quite sure. Looks like he just got a little bit loose, yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit loose right there on the straightaway coming into it, and maybe just a little bit of frustration coming out right there, just kind of deciding, hey, I'm already a couple laps down. I don't want to make anybody else's race miserable. I'm going to try to be smart and be safe with this car. You can keep running and try to get a couple spots back, get a couple points, but you don't want to screw up anybody else's race out on track. That's not what we're out here to do. So pretty heads-up driving right there. As you can see, your leader's kind of checked out a bit. It's still a second and a half back to second place. You're watching Kenny Meadows run around right now. He's got Tim Davis right behind him, so not quite out of the grasps and not quite out of the line of sight for these two guys now behind him, as Longacre's going to try to make a run down the inside as well. Longacre starting to check a little bit, starting to look.
Yeah, he's definitely, as soon as you said keep an eye on him, I've been kind of eyeing him back and forth the last 10 laps. He's running really good pace right now. I mean, he's definitely got this track figured out. It's mainly, just as we said earlier, you don't want to use your tires up so much. You guys only have 4 sets of tires for this race. So it's not like you're going to go in and just get a set of tires every time you have a caution. I mean, this adds a little bit more of that realism. You have to conserve your tires. You have to preserve them. If you don't, you're going to ruin your race. You're going to ruin every chance you had of a good finish and everything. I mean, strategy comes into play, and it means more now than it ever has.
Oh, yeah, for sure, especially considering we're working a pretty long green flag run right here. I don't want to give it the commentator's curse, but it's been pretty good so far. And, to be able to conserve those tires, this is where it counts. This is where you're going to be able to get back to making passes and try to move up a little bit further with this stage. We're at we've just completed 100 laps. We're on lap 101. That means we're going to have 10 more times around before these guys get that break at the stage where they can come get some fresh rubber and fill up on fuel. Longacre showing there's a little bit of rubber left underneath that car. The number 95 looked at Tim Davis, didn't quite get there, but Longacre is still looking.
Yeah, look at here. I mean, this is the closest battle on track right now. I mean, these guys are doing a fantastic job. I mean, as we mentioned before, we wanted to see that green flag run. These guys provided exactly what we wanted. This is what we want to see. We like seeing it. We like seeing the races play out. I'm sure the viewers at home watching, I hope you guys are enjoying this. This is great racing. I mean, a lot of stuff, especially on the sim, I mean, you go to Bristol, you go to Martinsville, you don't see a lot of green flag action. And this is fantastic. I couldn't ask for anything better than this.
Yeah, right now, this is some really great stuff. It's kind of showing the smarts behind the wheel and the brutes behind the wheel, brutes holding the wheel. You got to be smart to have a good car this late in the run. You got to have the nerve to kind of stick it down in there like you're seeing out the front of Vaber's car. You're watching Longacre kind of try to figure out the best way around the 92. He kind of diamonds off the 4 right here, pulls just barely to the inside. Vaber kind of giving him some space. I wouldn't want to be right behind him. If something goes wrong, you have no time to react.
Talking about going wrong, you see Kenny Meadows right there trying to get around some lap traffic. That could go wrong. Looks like we got one. One's going to let him go down on the bottom. That's smart. Heads up right there. And they're going to go down. They're going to get by no problem. Here, I say that. Now they're going to get by. It's 3 laps to go here in stage number 1. Santini has reached his lead out to 3 seconds.
Santini has absolutely checked out of this race, sparing a yellow or any sort of issue. I think we can call this 2 stage wins. I don't want to curse him, so he's got to come around again and prove it. But that 2-second lead, that's showing that Santini does have the long run car as well as the short run car to be able to continue building a gap like this over Ralph Hutchinson as he comes out of turn 4. He's going to get one more time around for this stage. Santini just making a great show out of that top line right now. He's got the lap traffic in front of him, closes in, probably going to be smart here to try to hold back and get to this line here.
Out of turn number 4, you saw it there last time around. 102 laps led, 103, and that is the second stage victory of the night for David Santini. We're going to go back to watch this battle here. Oh, looks like Tim Davis got it.
That was very close. I think Tim Davis he was able to make that really great run off the corner, and he will be able to hold on to the top 5. at the end of stage number 2. Longacre did give him a heck of a run for it. He had to keep him honest, and he did. But coming to the end of stage 2, finally got in a really long green flag run, kind of seeing where everybody's stacking up in that regard. And that's pretty important because this next run to the finish, the stage 3, is a long one. 115 more laps before we call the checkered on this race. So they're going to probably have some long runs. They're going to have to be able to keep control of those cars throughout that.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. And we might even see green flag pit stops, Joe.
Yeah, you could even see those in the middle of this third stage. And, you know, you talk about those tires and tire management. If you're smart with those tires so far, you're going to see these guys come in to pit and try to be smart with their next set of tires as well. If you're smart with those tires, you might have some saved for the end of this race. So anything can happen as these guys all come storming down the pit lane, play the Valkyrie. They're on their way. David Centrini leads us through it.
So here we go. Are we going to see Hutchison try to pull what he did last time? Doesn't look like it's going to work. Looks like Centini was very well aware of what happened the last time and was quick to hug that inside line. Very smart of Centini there. So they're going to come down here, pit lane, taking lap 114. They're into the box, 4 tires and fuel. Those jacks are going to go up on the car. There they go. He's got a little bit more of an advantage, Hutchison does, than Centini does. But the advantage Centini has, that first pit box. Right there, you see it. First one out.
There you go. Centini, absolutely no trouble. And able to get back out into the race lead. And, well, not the race lead, rather, but just to be able to get back out onto the track first. It's going to be able to give him the chance to make the same runs he's been all the way through this one so far, and definitely proving, you know, his team's all hooked up. It's not just him, it's, you know, him and his team making this work right now. But we got one. TJ Crampton is making some pretty good noise so far in this race, and we'll go ahead and pull him into the booth here, Trey, and let you see what's going on behind the wheel of number 61.
Yeah, TJ Crampton started off the race in P9. He's been up to third, currently sitting third right now. TJ, you seem to have figured out that car, and you're starting to figure out this track. I mean, you are running, you've got good pace. Let us know how that car feels and just the car-track combo. Is it as difficult as it looks?
Yeah. This track is really tough, especially when you miss the setup like I did. I'm bottoming out pretty hard in 1 and 2 up top, so I've been trying to run the bottom in 1 and 2 and top 3 and 4. So it's been working. So, you know, a bit too loose on the long run, so just did some adjustments to tighten it up. Hopefully that works, and hopefully I can pass Ralph. I don't know about Centini. He's pretty fast, but I think we have a good shot for second.
I mean, you've definitely figured it out a little bit here. I mean, how different, I mean, obviously the long run helped the car free up a little bit or tighten up. I mean, in regards to that, compared to those short runs at first, I mean, how does that make the car feel now that you've had a little bit of a run to do?
You know, it's going to be interesting. You know, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
Alrighty, man. But we're going to get you set back up because we're about to go green. Good luck.
Thank you, guys.
All right, that's stage. He finished third in stage number 2. We're back green here. Centini going to stretch all the way back out to the lead here. Didn't have far to go. Hutchison's not far behind.
They rifle out of turn number 4. The first lap of stage number 3 is going to get put in the books. Centini leading the way as of course. And we got yellow at the back of the grid. Richard Clement and Chris Hansen involved in another incident here. We're still green because they were able to pull that number 4 car into the pit lane, and the 90 was able to set that thing straight. So Chris Hansen able to get the car under control and back in the right direction here. He's going to be right in front of your leaders, probably going to be able to pull off of the track here. Is look at Hutchinson on the outside. Oh no! Jeez, that lap car.
Caution's out.
Man, Chris Hansen could have caused calamity right there. He's got more cars on the front stretch that are in now getting reset, as John Gifford is one of those guys. He goes back to the pits. Oh man, just those kind of moves when you've got a lap car coming in front of you so quickly, it's an unfortunate situation that, you know, you thankfully didn't get bad, but that was scary.
We're seeing John Gifford here going down into turns. There, 3 and 4. Looks like nothing's happened quite yet. Oh, was that Cody Jordan again? Cody Jordan just got loose, looked like by himself, and unfortunately Gifford just wrong place, wrong time. I mean, yep, there he is. You see how it got a little bit loose. We're going to get a little bit of a wind back here. Cody Jordan, I mean, just not having a great night, not going his way. Been in a couple incidences here. I think we're going to go through another lap here. Oh, gets a little bit loose there. Yep, there he goes up into the wall, and Gifford just nowhere to go.
Unfortunate stuff for these guys, and I mean, we were all over the place on that restart with the first incident. You're riding on board with John Gifford, getting his view of the situation. Jordan just all over the place, nowhere to go. Gifford into him pretty hard too, and that number 81 has to come to a stop on the inside of the racetrack like so. Gonna get that car reset. What a tough break for those guys. Now, just getting into the final stage of this race, starting to get to halfway and being able to kind of set your sights on the finish, but unfortunately, that's going to put a big damper on them.
Talking about setting our sights, we're going to set our sights on the people that help make this happen. Our series partners here at the MSRA National Series. We have Rapid Fired Pizza, we have Old School Ninjas, and Shorba's Racing Graphics. Make sure you check these guys out. I mean, these are the guys that make this series happen. Without these guys, none of this would be possible, and we want to thank them for their contributions to this series and allowing us to be here. I mean, it's really cool to see that these guys are really out here just doing that, you know, to allow these guys to race. And obviously, we have our partners here at PitStop TV. We got to thank Tucson Sound Art, Race Pace Setups, Permanent Makeup in Cryo and Maine, Whiplash Media, and BAM Racing Videos. I mean, these guys do so much behind the scenes for us. I mean, you guys have no idea. These guys make it happen for us. They help us keep the lights on. They make us want to come to work every day. I mean, they just make it possible for all of us.
Yeah, you know, and that's a big part of the sport, and that's a big part of, you know, these broadcasts. They do a lot of great stuff, and, you know, you got to give them some credit. You got to give credit to these drivers and their teams, too. I mean, you know, we talk about David Santini, we talk about Ralph Hutchinson. You know, you got to give a shout out to everybody behind the scenes with them, all their crews. You know, it may be a simulator, but they have help, and, you know, there's a lot of help for these guys to try to do their best in this series. So they're going to go double file right now. A lot of props to them. A lot of props to everybody watching, too, obviously. The platform is nothing without its viewers, so I appreciate everybody watching on all of our platforms, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, all the jazz, and makes things special, makes it a fun Friday night for all of us here.
That's right. I mean, without the viewers, without the viewers, Joe, I mean, what do we really do? I mean, we just sit here and talk about cars going around in circles, right? I mean, that's nothing. I mean, we don't want to do that for absolutely nobody. But enough for that. We're going to go back green here. Stage number 3 underway. Santini going to stretch away here. TJ Crampton and Hutchinson going to be side by side going down to turn number 2.
Rifling into the Turner, Crampton up top, Hutchinson trying to dive low. Like Crampton said in that little interview, that car bottoms out when he goes a little bit higher up. Wonder if that's going to be hindering his performance right here. Hutchinson goes all the way up right there, but Santini leading the way, making a gap. You can see it's building and building and building between the 79 and the 51.
That's all right. He likes what he's seeing in his mirror, but man, let me tell you, TJ Crampton, we heard it there. He does not want that car in front of him. Car around on the back straightaway. 45, Villabolos Jr. into the inside wall. Excuse me, Hardlick.
Villalobos seems like a single car situation right now, and it's going to be a tough break all the way up on the top side. We'll get the replay going here. You see Julio's running sort of that middle high line, and he comes out of the corner this time. You can see how loose that car is, just making a point of the work he's putting into it. A little bit of that little death wiggle in the middle of the corner. We've seen that before. He does get some help, but you know, we saw that with Cody Jordan at the very beginning of the race. If you get that car loose in the middle of the corner, it's so hard to catch, so hard to save, and unfortunately, not only did Julio not quite get it straight without a little help from the wall, but then he got caught up too from some cars behind him. Around he went.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard enough to save the car when you lose it by yourself, but especially when you have that extra exerted force from another car. I mean, it just makes it almost dang near impossible to save it. And that car's not as tore up as it could be. You're going to see him make a left. He's going to go down pit road. I don't blame him one bit on that. Try to get the crew out there, get some bare bond, take the hammers out, try to bend that front end back out. But
hey, man, it's
not a bad night for him so far. I mean, just unfortunate.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. It's like my dad went down in that comment section. It's one of those quotes my dad says. For racing like this, it's some of that rock and roll racing. I mean, you just rock 'em sock 'em out here. It's close, beating and banging, short track, not a lot of room, and you're going 110%. Villalobos, the car gets loose underneath you, and there's only so much you can do. So he's going to come in, get a little bit of repairs from the team, and try to see if he can get the aerodynamics figured out a little bit on this one. Not a huge factor at Bristol, but you definitely want it driving at the optimum to go 20, 30 miles an hour in the middle of these corners.
Oh, no, absolutely. Make sure, if you want to stay up to date on the action on the channel, make sure you follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/PitStop TV. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/PitStop TV _. Follow us on Instagram at instagram.com/pit_stop_TV. And on YouTube at youtube.com/c/PitStop TV1. You will find all of our action, broadcasts, social media on all of these platforms. The guys here at PitStop TV, they kill it week in and week out, every day. Blood, sweat, and tears put into this show for you guys to enjoy it. Once again, our crew tonight, I'm Trey Patton, Joe Donahue on the call with me in the booth, Trey Schultzworth making it happen in the production truck, and Jacob Zolla killing it on social media tonight. It's such an honor to be here with you guys. It's been a while. I've loved every minute of it. It's good to be back. And these guys are putting on a heck of a show for us tonight.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here and to get to see this firsthand, see these guys work their way through 225 laps here at the last great Coliseum, as you saw on the boards there, Bristol, Tennessee. It's a good show. I mean, it's a great track. It makes some awesome racing. It's all tight, close, and exciting. Don't forget about that playoff picture. This is the playoff cutoff race for this MSRA National Series race, and coming back around through 3 and 4, they're going to get the green flag again, try to get things rolling, get up on the haunches, and see what we can get out of this.
The pace car makes that hard left turn. We're going to go green here on lap 133 of 225 here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Santini leads him down into turn number 2. As lap 133 is in the books, lap 134, you see TJ Crampton all over, trying to get by Kenny Meadows here for that third spot, but it's not going to happen yet. Meadows trying to fend off Crampton as much as he can, but we know he is thirsty for that spot.
Sort of a train right now up at the front end of the field. You can see off the front end of TJ Crampton's car, first and second very close together, running basically the same line, Hutchinson and Pete. You got Meadows being a little bit exploracious as he yellow Crampton now. A little bit of the wall that time. Yellow flag's actually coming out. They're all going to slow it back down. Get on the brakes. You got another yellow flag out on the racetrack.
I'm not quite sure. Looks like Jacob Shorba could have been one of the culprits of that yellow. Not quite sure yet. We're going to try and see if we can take a look and see exactly what happened there. It looks like Shorba, oh yeah, he had a completely clean car here. We're going to see exactly what happened. They're coming down the, oh my goodness.
Yikes.
Green cars, I mean, for one, hooking the inside wall like that, I mean, that's just a bad angle in general. I mean, that's a hard hit. Obviously, I mean, us in the sim, you're not going to feel that unless he's using a direct drive wheel. But, I mean, that's just, Gifford just nowhere to go. I mean, we already saw he was victim to one crash like that already. I mean, just to add another one onto the night. Watching Richard Clement here, I mean, Joe, I mean, what can you do in a situation like that?
Oh man, nothing. I mean, when you're coming up so fast on these guys from behind, what are you gonna do to get out of the way of these cars that are stopped on the racetrack? But you can see him just hook off way in the distance, and then Clement just absolutely freight trains into him. Nothing really else that he could have done. Get on the brakes a little bit more, but you're going so fast, and you got a car just right in your way. Jacob Shorba, unfortunate situation for that 30 car. Unfortunately, he's going to collect a couple more guys in it.
I mean, you saw there from the onboard view. I mean, he, as you mentioned, going so fast, I mean, you couldn't even really see. But what I can see is a segue to our sponsors, our partners here at PitStop TV, the guys that make it happen. We have Tucson Sound Art. Your picture, your music. You provide the image you want, and they will custom create a beautiful high-framed quality canvas with a built-in Bluetooth speaker. With Sound Art, you get the best of both worlds. Visit TucsonSoundArt.com for additional info. And remember, at checkout, use code PitStopTV and receive 10% off your purchase. Another one of our partners here, we have Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy. With locations in Auburn, Lewiston, Naples, and Saco, Maine, Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine owner Ashley Boyer is a certified micropigmentation specialist who provides personal, safe, and personalized services. You can contact Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine at their website, permanentmakeupinmaine.com, or you can call or text them at 207-358-8683. Next, we have BAM Racing Videos. By a race fan for the racing community. Next up, we have Race Pace. You ever wish you could have a race engineer on speed dial? Well, man, let me tell you, I wish I did. Well, now we can, thanks to Race Pace, a driver development service and a setup shop all in one. Work with our buddy Tyler, a real-world race engineer, to step up your game before your next race. Pick up your pace with Race Pace. And with that being said, we want to thank and we love all of our partners here at PitStop TV once again for making it happen. They pay the bills for us, they help us keep the lights on, and they help us provide excellent coverage for you guys week in and week out. And we are back green here on lap 140. David Santini going to lead us back. TJ Crampton all the way to the outside here. He's trying to make the pass on Hutchison.
Through 3 and 4, Santini's going to lead that way. Crampton with a nice run off the top side, put the number 61 into second place. And a little bit of the wall, a little bit of Rubbins racing up top for number 61 as Hutchinson goes down the inside. Ralph going to try to diamond out of turn number 4. Again, is it going to work? Yeah, contact right there down the front straightaway.
Yeah, I mean, you saw it got a little bit of loosey-goosey there, but he's able to keep it. He's going to swipe all the way down to the bottom. Try a crossover here in turn 3 and 4. Not going to quite make it work. Oh, my gosh.
I don't even know. Crampton maybe got a little bit more of that wall right there. These guys are all over the place right now, and you can't be doing this when David Santini has such a stranglehold on the front running of this race. If you want to be able to even have a chance of catching that 79 machine right now, you got to try to, as hard as it is to say, work together and kind of get back up to Santini's rear bumper. Again, TJ Crampton, you see him running up to the top side, running really well in 3 and 4 up top as well. So we'll see if maybe 1 and 2 are running a little bit differently for that 61 machine. Like he said in his little interview, is running kind of bottoming out in 1 and 2 up top. So he's trying his best to maximize the line he can run with the setup he's got.
Well, if them trying to do that little battle, I mean, that's going to bring Kenny Meadows and Eric Longacre back into the mix here. I mean, and then we have, just Tim Davis also in the mix a little bit back here. I mean, these guys have a battle going on here. You see they're still going, so, I mean, that's just going to bring Meadows right back into the mix.
Absolutely, and you want to talk about guys coming back up into the mix. I mean, you talk about, look at Tommy Gossett back up into 8th place, John Binder in 7th. These guys have been involved in accidents. I mean, look at Tommy Gossett's car. You know, that is no showroom piece right there. But it's still running. He's still running it pretty well, pretty strong. He won last time this series came out at Darlington. He's making a pass right now for 7th spot. He's going to get it pretty easily, I would say, on that bottom line over the number 83 of John Binder. So right now, Tommy Gossett, you know, we talked about at the beginning of this race, you get caught up in an incident at the start. You got plenty of time to maximize your recovery, and Tommy is taking full advantage of that here at Bristol tonight.
I mean, heck, he's still got 75 laps to go. I mean, so much can happen right now. I mean, he seemed to be running. I mean, his lap times really aren't that slow. I mean, he's only. I mean, he's running race pace with everybody else. So I mean, I wouldn't count him out on this. I mean, if we get a long enough run, Tommy knows what he's doing. He knows how to get around these tracks. He knows how to win. He'll find a way to finish. I mean, he may not get the win, but I mean, he'll get a good finish out of this if he can keep that thing contained in the one piece it is right now. I guess if you want to call it in one piece.
Yeah, and I mean, you talk about the rest of this race. It doesn't take long for things to go wrong in a race, or at all, really. I mean, that's, it's kind of life sometimes, but things could go wrong kind of more towards the front of this field, and all of a sudden Tommy Gossett's running for a podium. And a late race caution after a long run could definitely make things sketchy and interesting at the end of the race too. So even, in the situation we're in, there are no guarantees what's going to happen. Tommy Gossett knows that. John Bitter knows that. Even Kyle Mullering, I mean, he took a really one-off strategy to not take the lead off of a stage restart, got up into the wall. He's running 10th again. So it's the funny time for things to happen. As you can see, Crampton and Meadows kind of fighting things out for third right here. Kenny can drive down into the corner pretty well. That car is, I would say, pretty hooked up at the moment. Still, these guys are running pretty well with the tires. Kind of getting towards a longer bit of a run right here.
I mean, from what I'm seeing here, according to my timing and scoring, it looks like we're on a 43, 44 laps since these guys were last in pit road. So, I mean, these tires are definitely getting their wear and tearing right now. So, I mean, this is where we get to see that longer effect of how these drivers are managing their tires. If they're managing well, you're going to see them start to pick up a little bit more pace compared to everybody else. I mean, as of right now, from what I'm saying, lap times are ranging anywhere between the 15.6 to about 16 seconds. So, I mean, a lot slower, almost about a second fall off from qualifying.
Yeah, and that's just part of the way things are going to go with having these tires wearing out sort of towards the ends of these runs. But you think about a run here, you've got 4 sets of tires, you make 4 pit stops to change them. You cut 225 by 4, you get about 45 laps. So these guys have run about a quarter of the race on this set, and that's what you need to do if you want to make that strategy work. But just think about how difficult it's going to be to run those cars at this point in time. So they're doing their best to try to get to the point where they feel comfortable, they feel safe with their strategies to come get some fresh rubber and try to get things going again with these cars.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, once these guys get fresh rubber on these cars, I mean, you're going to tell the difference really quick between who has old tires and who doesn't. I mean, you're looking here, Tommy Gossett, we were just talking about him trying to make up some pace. He's trying to work up to that back bumper of Tim Davis, and he's making some ground here. I mean, he's doing it ever so slightly. You saw his last lap was 0.2 faster than the lap before. I mean, he's got really decent pace right now. If he can keep doing what he's doing, I mean, he's going to keep just ticking away these spots.
Yeah, being able to hold on to your car and make it run good at the end of your run, that's really a great capitalizing position to be in. You can do what Tommy Gossett's doing right now. I mean, he's just very slowly, very steadily, very methodically catching the 92 inch by inch per lap, and eventually he's going to get a chance to get around him, and then he'll move on to Longacre, and then he can move on to Meadows, Crampton, all the way up to the front. That's the kind of strategy that obviously he pulled for himself, but it seems to be working right now. As there's Kenny Meadows actually got a huge chunk of the wall off the exit of that last corner as well, and that's the kind of thing that Tommy Gossett would want to see, as well as Tim Davis and even Longacre, who looks down the inside right now to try to make that pass.
That's the thing. That's exactly what Tommy wants to see, because guess what? They're going to get bunched up right there, and that's going to slow them down. If he's able to find that spot in the corner at that right speed to get around them, I mean, that's not one free spot, that's 3.
Right, exactly. And, 3 spots is a lot. It came into this race talking about trying to get into that cutoff for the playoffs. And, as much as we've been talking about this race, you can't count that out, because that's going to make things a little bit trickier. Everybody's looking for extra playoff points. Everybody's looking to get in, all that jazz. Even just getting that victory. It's got these guys side by side right now. Longacre and Meadows, they know, hey, anything can happen, and these two might be running for the race win in a couple laps, and trying to be able to go 2 by 2 right now. As you can see, Tim Davis and Tommy Gossett go side by side behind them. Oh, Tommy! And that's not how you get to the end of a race, though.
Well, let me tell you, I don't know if he did that on purpose, but it worked. Now, mind you, the favor might be repaid. He may not think highly of that move, Tommy. So, I mean, don't be shocked if he might repay it back a little bit later. Now, mind you, it was clean. There was no contact, but still, with a move like that, look at, just what I was talking about. 2 free spots right there. Before, he was 3 seconds, almost 3 spot. Tommy is moving.
Tommy Gossett looks like he has fresh tires. Look at him just absolutely tear past 3 cars. He looks like he's got fresh tires. He looks like he's hooked up way better. It's like when the track slicks off at a half-mile dirt track in Shelton Haunenschildt rip the top side of it. That was the best reference I could put in there. But Tommy Gossett absolutely has this thing hooked up, and he is one of the fastest drivers on the racetrack right now. He's making time so well, and that is how he's going to get himself in position to make a run for the race win at the end, try to get those extra points, just try to have some say in the end of Bristol tonight. David Santini has gone off and away with this race all the way through it, but wouldn't it be something for Tommy to be able to put an exclamation point on it at the end of this race?
Oh, that'd be a heck of a way to put the exclamation point on. But I can tell you one thing, he's not on fresh tires, but he's on fresher tires. These guys up front, they're on about 61, 62 laps. Tommy's on 54. So, he's got about 8 laps or so on these guys, but 8 laps, as you see, is making a heck of a difference.
He's made up all that time. He's passed him. He's making time more and more every lap. And while, David Santini up at the front end is just having the opportunity to control everything about this race, control pace, control his car, control his tire wear, all of that jazz that the number 79 is capable of doing right now. Tommy Gossett's fighting up through the field. Ralph Hutchinson, TJ Crampton, they're pretty often away on their own as well. They're able to just kind of control themselves. Kenny Meadows, you see him, him and Babber right now, they're side by side racing each other. So Babber makes pretty quick work of it. He can move forward, try to get a run here and move up closer to Tim Davis. These guys, it's tires. You got to be managing that strategy just as much as those tires. And right now, some of these guys are proving they managed their strategy a little bit better for the way things kind of crumbled out here.
You want to talk about strategy and eating away? Tommy Gossett eating away, made his way up to 3rd place with TJ Crampton, trying to take that away. He's going to go down to the bottom. Is he going to get it? Looks like Crampton, we know he's been running the high side in 3 and 4. Tommy's taking his line.
And that's really smart. That's smart driving right there, to be able to see where someone is running, take that spot on the racetrack. If they're going there, that means they want to be there. That means that's the best place that they're going to run out of the corner. Holy cow, Tommy Gossett. I didn't miss almost not being able to fit a piece of paper in between those 2 cars right there. But Tommy does take that bottom side and will complete the pass this time. What a run that 10 cars got going.
And we see there, that's the difference in 8 lap, as I mentioned, 8 laps fresher tires there, Joe. That right there, you wouldn't think, as I said, it's not going to make that much of a difference. Look how much he's already gapped him.
Yeah, it's a huge difference out here, and it's just every lap it's the same deal. Every lap you're getting closer and closer. Look at this. That's Ralph Hutchinson. That's a guy who's been up at the front of this race the entire time, and he's closing so quickly. You can just watch timing and scoring on the side of the screen. Just watch the tenths and everything just get closer and closer for Gossett and Hutchinson. And while at the same time, Santini's taken off pretty well, things are getting a little iffy with some lap cars and all this jazz too. So it's so dynamic. It's gonna be interesting to see, how long these guys go before we get a yellow or a pit stop sequence that kind of changes things up. But that's a big factor in this strategy too.
Yeah, I suspect the green flag pit stop probably coming up in the near future soon. These guys have been on these tires for 73 laps. I know they can go longer, on tires. Oh, the 6 Cramptons goes around, cautions out.
Oh, what an unfortunate turn of events, running so well the whole way up to this point, running up front, long run, difficult tires to keep control of. And just around he goes. A little bit of help too, but what an unfortunate circumstance for the 61 team.
And that right there, I mean, we're just going to see. I mean, it looked like he just got loose by himself. I mean, you see Longacre behind him. Yep, that's exactly what happened. He was just high. I mean, nobody touched him. He kept it off the wall. I mean, innocent little spin there. I mean, unfortunate, but it was bound to happen here soon. I mean, once those tires go down, I mean, or once they get worn, I mean, obviously go down. I mean, they're not really going to go down, but just you lose so much grip getting into these long runs. I mean, you just see right here, he's going up, goes to run higher, just like he had been, and there he goes. I mean, he did say he was bottoming out in turn 1 and 2, so maybe he was trying to try something different, and obviously we see what happened there. But cars are coming down pit road here, Joe, and let me tell you, if anybody benefited from that, I'd say Tommy Gossett, because, I mean, he worked his way up to 3rd place, and now he's back on par in strategy with the leaders.
Yeah, and I you know, it's going to be interesting to see what happens on this restart, because he had those fresher tires, and that was the big advantage for him. So now they're going to be on equal tires. Oh, that was huge right there. David Santini went just a tad bit too far through his pit box, and he had to back up. Is he going to lose the race off pit road as a result of this? Just wait. Let's see.
He sure will.
Oh, he did it.
Tommy Gossett
Yes.
still comes off 3rd, but we have a new race off pit road winner, and that went to Ralph Hutchinson. I mean, I was not expecting that. That's what I'm saying. That right there, that can be the difference in winning this race and losing this race. Santini has been on rails. He's had a perfect race. And here we go, crunch time. I mean, it's 35 laps to go, and you miss your box.
That's the thing. I mean, kind of touched on it a little bit before, but little things, big things, anything can just change your race at the snap of a finger. And a little mistake like that, I mean, you go across all forms of iRacing, all the sorts of races that we've seen here on PitStop TV, anywhere you go. You see it, and you gotta keep control of those little mistakes, because they're just the silly little things that can take you out of the race lead, like what happened right here. And it's always the same. You gotta practice everything. You gotta practice those pit ins. You gotta practice those hitting your marks in the stall. You gotta practice your pit exits, not speeding, all that stuff. That's really the big deal, and that's what obviously is taking Santini out of the race lead now. But it's just anywhere you go in motorsports, that's the kind of thing you got to watch out for.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, and the one thing that's really going to be different here for Santini is that actually did Hutchinson opt to take the outside? He
did. That's an interesting move right there. But he is going to be the control car for the restart, and that's going to be important too.
See, that I was going to say that was going to be a bit different there, but I guess really not. But now Hutchinson onto the gas, and he's going to surge away down into turn number 1. New race leader, Ralph Hutchinson.
And he got to play that card right out of David Santini's hand, that little jump off the start. Big difference maker. Look at this, the 51 car leading the 79 for one of the first times tonight. We got one spinning.
I'm not quite sure. That is Kyle Mollering around in turn number 4. Looks like he's all by himself. Car doesn't look too damaged.
Yeah, this might be a quick yellow.
It might be had some help there. Yeah, quick yellow right there. Yeah, car looks fine. Let's see if we can figure out what exactly happened there.
Well, we're kind of surprised we didn't see Tommy Gossett go around for how close they were up front of the group and the way that they were so close right there. But, you know, you look at Longacre and Gossett, they were really close as well. So you go further back here, all on his own, it looks like Mollering.
Oh, yep, just completely on his own.
Yeah, 100%. Just got into that corner too hot.
I mean, that's just kind of one of those things. I mean, we mentioned it, cold tires. I mean, it is most definitely a thing here. And you're just going to see, I mean, just goes in, went a little bit hot there. I don't know if he got on the brakes a little bit. I mean, I'm not quite sure, but cold tires here. You know, on a track surface like Bristol, I mean, it does not like cold tires, man. I'm telling you, cold tires in Bristol are not friends.
Yeah, absolutely. And on top of cold tires, you know, anticipation, getting pumped up, adrenaline, you're coming back to get that restart. You're getting excited. You're going to try to see if you can capitalize, and things might just get a little bit out from underneath you. Tough deal for Bullering, and unfortunately, you know, he's going to go around and bring out another yellow flag here.
Make sure if you're interested and want to see more on the channel, tune in Tuesday night, 6:40 p.m. Eastern Time for the NORC iRacing Series Chase. I believe they're in the playoffs. Looks like they're going to be at Chicagoland on Tuesday. And tune in Wednesday night at 6:40 Eastern. The Cars Esport Tour will be live from Hickory. That was just added to the sim. I will be partaking in that race, hopefully, assuming I can make it into the main. It's really fun. You know, those guys, you know, Andrew does a really good job putting on that series. You know, we work for them in real life. We follow them around. It's just really cool to race with some of these guys on the sim after seeing them do it week in and week out. And on Wednesday, we have the Outlaw Sim Series at Pocono at 7:30 Eastern. So, I mean, there's action all throughout the week. I mean, just, you got cup cars, you got late models, and you got trucks. I mean, what can you go for there? I mean, that's everything you need.
Everything you need, just a little bit of dirt will get you all the way through it. You know, don't count my old boys at the BRP iRacing series either, but they're on their off season, so in the meantime, plenty of great oval track racing to tune in here on PitStop TV.
Oh yeah, we love our guys over at BRP, and you know who else we love, Joe? We love our sponsors, our partners here at MSRA. We have Rapid Fire Pizza, Old School Ninjas, and Shorba's Racing Graphics. These guys make it happen here. I know we say it. We say it a lot. Why do we say it a lot? Because these guys make it happen. We love it. We love them. Go check them out. Go support these guys. These guys support these guys. They support the series. They make it happen. So show them some love. Go check out Rapid Fire Pizza. Go eat some pizza. Old School Ninjas. You want a gaming community? Go check them out. You want some paint schemes? Go check out Shover Racing Graphics. And what we're going to check out is this green flag run, because we are back green. Lap 199 of 225. It's crunch time here at Bristol. Coming out for turn number 4, Hutchinson still takes the lead. Santini going to run to the bottom, going to get right up alongside of Hutchinson, and he's going to clear himself just slightly, but man, he wants that lead back bad.
Ralph can kind of...
Oh!
Look out! David Santini, big time loose out of turn number 4. Hutchinson can kind of power out of that corner, but oh boy, Santini was on the afterburners trying to get around him on the inside, just got a little bit out underneath himself.
Yeah, he definitely sent it down a little bit hard. But man, let me tell you, this is different for David Santini. Why? He's used to having that clean air. He doesn't have that clean air now. He's been used to it all night. I mean, the man's led 190 something laps. Well, I say it right there. He just ran the fastest lap in the race, the 15th flat. I mean, so obviously he's still got that thing running. But I mean, he's still the guy to beat right now. I mean, don't count him out.
Absolutely not. And we're riding on board with Colby Bob as he's trying to catch up to Tommy Gossett at least enough to make a run for 4th place. He's running 5th. Not a bad showing at all, and actually a ton of space which he's lost in the cars down the stretch on the back straightaway. To the front stretch again, and that momentum is carrying to get him back to that number 10 cars to their bumper. You can see further up ahead since he has caught back up to Hutchinson. We're on board with him as they go through the corners, and you can see the line difference is just taking a little bit loose again for David.
You want to talk about getting back up into the mix there. TJ Crampton all over Bauer back there. I mean, side by side there. I mean, we got battles for the lead. We got battles for 4th. I mean, these guys have kind of stretched it out a little bit, but man, I mean, battles throughout the entire field. Santini all over the back bumper. There you see it. A little bit of that battle for P4, P5. I mean, These guys know.
Whoa!
It's less Santini goes around. Caution's out.
Oh no! A perfect race all the way up to that pit stop, and he just loses it on his own out of turn number 4. Absolutely giving 110%, but oh man, what a tough break for David.
So unfortunate. I mean, we thought it was all sunshine and rainbows for Santini tonight. Won the pole, just dominated the first 2 stages. And there you see it out of turn 4, just loses the car. Able to lock it up, keep the car off the wall, not able to hit anybody. So, I mean, that's good. He's taking care of that car. But, man, Joe, let me tell you, this thing's not over yet. I mean, there's still 15 laps to go. I mean, I hate to say it. I hate to jinx it. We haven't seen the big one yet.
Oh, man. Trey, why you got to go out here and say things like that?
It's
You're going to jinx it,
baby.
my man.
It's Bristol. I mean,
It's
Bourbon's
Bristol.
racing. I mean, just seeing how the car just snapped on him right there. But, I mean, here's the thing, though. We may not see the big one. It doesn't happen all the time. But here's the thing. You know, in the good words of Dale Earnhardt, you know, I didn't mean to wreck him. I was just trying to rattle his cage. Are we going to see some cage rattles tonight, Joe?
Oh, well, you know, we're getting close to the end. I mean, 15 laps. One of the biggest names in this race is now, you know, all the way at the tail end of the grid for the restart. Ralph Hutchinson's looking at this saying, wow, what an opportunity. Longacre right there in second, thinking just the same. Tommy Gossett is going, I can't believe I'm in this situation right now. Colby Bobber, you know, I can squeeze this. And then TJ Crampton trying to rebound from his own self-spin. So I wouldn't leave it out of the picture. It's Bristol, baby. You know, we've said it a couple times already on this broadcast, but this is going to get interesting.
It's definitely interesting, and once again, we want to thank our partners here at PitStop TV allowing us to make this happen. You got Tucson Sound Art, your picture, your music. Make sure you use the code PitStop TV at checkout for 10% off your wall-mounted sound art device. Next up, we have Race Pace. Pick up pace with Race Pace, a community-driven setup shop and driver development program. Permanent Makeup in Maine. You deserve the best care that money can buy. Make sure you reach out to them at permanentmakeupinmaine.com. Whiplash Media, official graphic and camera provider of PitStop TV, and brought to you by BAM Racing Videos, by a race fan for the racing community. These guys make it happen here for us. We love the fact that they support us week in and week out, day in and day out. So show some love. Go support them. If you don't want to go support them by doing that, go share them. Share them around. Give them some free advertisement. I mean, advertisement is everything. Word is everything. And I know they would appreciate every little bit of that. So we're coming up to lap 213 of 225. As we see here, we want to shout out our race series partners here at MSRA, Rapid Fire Pizza, Old School Ninjas, and Shorba's Racing Graphics.
A lot of help for everybody around the table. They're getting back to double file, so everybody from every side of the coin about to get a good show right here. The anticipation builds as the pace car leads them down the back straightaway one more time, Trey, and hopefully we get to see that come to fruition, but oh man, this is kind of nerve-wracking.
Oh, it's nerve-wracking indeed. 12 laps to go here when we take the green flag. The pace car is in. Green flag is out in the air. Hutchinson surges to the lead, but Eric Longacre, will he make it happen here? He dives down to the bottom.
Colby with a great run off of the second row top side. Ralph Hutchinson leads the way. No trouble. Longacre going to have a little bit of pressure. Tommy Gossett makes the pass back up to key number 3. And he goes to the bottom side of the racetrack in 1 and 2. Longacre up top. This is that rock and roll racing we've been talking about. Hutchinson with a bit of a gap, but Longacre not going to let that go so easy.
Coming up a turn 4. 10 laps to go here at Bristol. It's crunch time. Hutchinson, Longacre, Gossett, Crampton, Babber, your top 5. Will Longacre do it? Will Tommy Gossett find a way to get by and try and squeeze a victory in? They're side by side for P5. TJ Crampton.
I think Longacre got a little bit loose out of the corner right there. It let Tommy Gossett get himself a run in through 1 and 2, and he looked, but he couldn't make that pass stick. The number 51 leads the way. No trouble. Longacre about a half second off his tail. Gossett, Bobber, Crampton. They're all running in line. They go to the top side. Tommy Gossett goes all the way to the wall. Not quite a little bit of a scratch, but it was close as they're just continuing to tick off these laps. They're running out of time to catch that 51 car.
Running out of time indeed. 6 laps to go here at Bristol, and Hutchinson is just driving away. Look in front of you. There's nothing you need to be worried about behind you. Drive your race. Longacre trying to hold off a surging Tommy Gossett as he goes down to the bottom. 2 by 2 here. He's not going to make it happen as he slots back in behind him. 5 laps to go.
Big energy out of that number 10 machine as he was coming through. Crampton now looking to the inside of Bobber for 4th. Didn't quite go. Gossett running again, trying to catch up to Longacre and stay in front of Bobber. Crampton looks to the inside. On board with Tommy Gossett down the back straightaway. He can see the race leader. That's got to be a motivator right there. They come to the line. They're going to have 4 more times around. Hutchinson leads Longacre and Gossett again. They all go to the top side. Gossett slams it into that corner.
He slammed it down in there. TJ Crampton also up in the mix here, trying to not go down swinging for sure. Or not going to go. Lost my train of thought there. Sorry about that. But here we are. TJ Crampton trying to get in the mix. Longacre trying to get back up to Hutchinson. But it's just not working out. This battle for 3rd on back is just ridiculous right now. They are the pinnacle of what is racing right now on this track. 2 laps to go.
Leader's going to come around 3 and 4, a lap and a half, and now he's going to see the white flag. Ralph Hutchinson got that car going all the way through this race. What a great performance. The white flag presented by Tucson Sound Art down the back straightaway. He kept his car clean in 2nd for as long as he could. Trey Patton, take us home. That 51 car's looking good.
Turn number 4 for the final time. Ralph Hutchinson brings it home at Bristol. What a phenomenal performance. I mean, just up front all night. Couldn't make it done. TJ Crampton wrecking after the checkers. Oh, man. I know if I'm one person right now, Ralph Hutchinson deserves a pat on the back. What an absolute drive. Just kept patience. And there he goes, burning it down. Well-deserved, long race, kept that car clean. I mean, look at that thing. I mean, it's got some dings on it, but burning it down here at the start-finish line. You see that red line gauge over there on the tack. I mean, he is going to go and do his Polish victory lap right here. No, he's not. He's going to do some donuts. You know what? You do whatever you want, buddy.
Yeah, that was a well-earned run right there. Hutchinson, I mean, you know, you want to win the race, you got to get through 225 laps. And David Santini had so many great laps. There were so many times he was the best car out on track. But unfortunately, he got that one little mistake. It sent him behind Hutchinson, and unfortunately, it ended up biting him in the tail a little bit. But you got to run that race as perfect as you can. Hutchinson did a great job. You got to throw it in there for Longacre and Gossett, too, because they had to go overcome a lot in themselves to get to the finish, let alone get onto the podium.
Yeah, they definitely did a heck of a performance there. I mean, Tommy Gossett, we mentioned, you know, started in the back, had an eel well, ends up 3rd place, and we saw how damaged that car was. But we'll hear more from our top 3 in our post-race coverage. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back, live on PitStop TV.
SoundArt introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home. By combining the best of 2 products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. SoundArt ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
Have you found yourself trying to hide your joy because you're unhappy with your teeth? Your smile is the first feature noticed in an interview, on a date, or in family photos. We want you to be able to shine bright as your best self, and our teeth whitening system is the perfect step toward restoring your confidence.
Welcome back to PitStop TV, live for post-race coverage here at Bristol Motor Speedway, as we just had an action-packed 225 laps here tonight. I mean, just, Joe, I mean, I'm at the point now, I don't even know what to say about it, dude. Like, I'm losing my words here. I mean, it was just spectacular. I had a great time. I hope you had a great time. I hope everybody else watching had a great time.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think it was really exciting. I mean, the end of the race got really interesting, and you know, those runs that we got to see at the end, the long runs, and all the calamity that unfolded at the very end of that race, it kept things on exciting. And I mean, I was on the edge of my seat the whole time anyway. So.
Yeah, I mean, these guys definitely had us on the edge of our seats. But, man, let me tell you, one guy that had me on the edge of my seat the entire race. This guy was on rails up front the entire race, and that is our race winner, Ralph Hutchinson. Started first, finished first. I mean, started second, excuse me. Finished first. I mean, we're going to drag him in here. And that guy, Ralph Hutchinson, our race winner. Dude, how did you make that happen?
You know, racing luck is everything, and it just hasn't been on our side at Lockdown Racing all week. And really, really excited to get this done tonight for him. Concrete has been our Achilles heel, and to get this one done tonight is a pretty huge moral lift for not only myself, but the team. Want to thank all of our team partners, Sparko, MPI, Anthony Alfredo, for everything he does. League sponsors, we've got Rapid Fire Pizza, Old School Ninjas, Shorba's Racing Graphics. You guys at PitStop TV, at the end of the day, we get to come have fun and really appreciate everything everybody does.
So, in regards to everything there, I mean, obviously getting the monkey off your back now definitely relieves a lot of stress. I mean, winning the last race of the regular season definitely has to have a very big momentum boost going into the playoffs now. But we're going to go back a little bit earlier in the race. I mean, we saw you almost edge out David there in pit road by taking the inside line.
You know, I've worked really hard on my craft on pit road. People get mad at me a lot because I don't really anticipate or appreciate somebody getting to the inside of them on pit road, but that's something I've worked really hard at with the timing segments and where you can get away with what and so on and so forth. So I knew that was the only way I was going to be able to get him was on pit road. He was just too dang good on the top. David Santini was the class of the field tonight. I was playing second fiddle to everything he was doing, and once I got that shot off of pit road, I didn't know if I was going to get a chance at clean air, and I finally got it with the preferred line. I knew it was going to be extremely hard for him to get me back, just knowing what it was like to run behind him. And unfortunately, he just got a little loose there, doing everything he could to get me. I know that feeling. That really stinks, but that group prepared an awesome race car and prepared well for the race, so wanted to give that a shout out.
Well, we definitely saw the move of the race was definitely on pit road. We saw it looked like Santini missed his box. He had to back up a little bit, which gave you the edge coming out of pit road. Then obviously, as we mentioned and saw, Santini spun around. I even mentioned clean air is going to be king. He didn't have that clean air. And because of that, you are Bristol's winner. I mean, that's definitely, like I said, got to carry a lot of momentum going into the playoffs. I mean, how does that make you feel going into the playoffs now that you've just got that monkey off your back? Now you can go in and race for a championship.
Yep. This was a really solid warm-up because, like I said, we've really struggled with the concrete this week as a team. Trying different things, trying to get ready for Premiere tomorrow night, the final round of round one in Premiere, and This was definitely a big confidence boost because it's been a troublesome week. So really looking forward to the premier conclusion of round 1 of the Premier Series playoffs tomorrow night.
Well, based on the performance tonight and the momentum carrying, I think you'll do just fine going into that. Well, good luck going on into your rest of your future racing endeavors. And I'm sure we'll be talking again to you soon. Congrats on the win, and have a good night, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you guys do. Take care.
All right, that is our race winner. Ralph Hutchinson started P2, finishes P1 here at Bristol. Now, another guy that we've been talking about all night, as Joe Donahue pointed out earlier, Evan Longacre was a guy we did not want to take our eyes off of. And we're going to send Evan in here, and we're going to send it to Joe, who's going to talk to our man, Evan Longacre.
Yeah, Evan, this is Joe Donahue with PitStop TV. You got a copy here?
Yep, you guys got me?
Yes, we do. Evan, you pulled it out of the hat. That was a long race and a lot of trial and tribulation to get through, but somehow you managed to pull that car up into P2. Tell me how you survived 225 laps at Bristol.
Well, I honestly didn't know if I was going to make it to C lap 5 because in qualifying, picked the wrong set for qualifying and lost it and touched the wall in my second lap. So I started like 13th, which is always kind of dangerous here. I had, a really, really good car, Great Lakes Motorsports. I worked with David Santini, and David and I were essentially running the same set. I was just kind of hanging back and putting laps away and trying to keep the car clean. And I knew I had a really good car. We set it up to be pretty good on the long run, to not get loose getting in the corner, but not get too tight on the long run. So I had a pretty good car under me. I was just, driving about 70-75% all night long. So I never really used it until it got down to the end.
Exactly right. You talk about that long run, you talk about being patient there, but the beginning of this race did not really give you a chance to use that long run. So is that difficult as a driver to get to the point in time where your setup's going to really be able to give you the benefit on the racetrack? Or, what are you thinking when you're starting off this race? You're getting those yellows and those stage breaks, and it's not really going the way you expect or intended to have your car running.
No, it's definitely frustrating, but you have to be so patient here. The whole race, it's a lot of give and take, and for the most part, at least the guys that I was around, there were a lot of guys that had pretty good spatial awareness, and they were really courteous and kind of paid attention to where other guys were. So there was a lot of good clean racing. I had a lot of fun racing in the middle of the race. It's just so difficult to predict what kind of runs there's going to be. You can set a car up that's middle of the road for long run, short run. You can try and build one for the long run, or you can try and build one on for the short run, and then who knows what you're going to get at the end or how it's all going to play out. So it just kind of comes down to luck as far as how the racing plays out. But no, it's definitely frustrating a little bit whenever all those yellows are coming out, but you just have to keep your your head on straight and pay attention on the restarts, and try and get a good launch every single time and get yourself into as clean of air as Bristol allows, and just get locked in.
Absolutely, and you mentioned locking in. That's a fair segue into the next step in this championship. The playoffs, which are starting after this race. You had a really good run through the regular season. You capped off the regular season with a very solid run and a P2 finish right here. Tell us, what does that do for you getting prepared for the next couple of races, the next 8 events, and trying to set up a run for the championship? What are you going to do, and how are you going to take this momentum out of tonight to try to help you progress towards a possible championship run?
So I definitely think I'm kind of starting behind the 8 ball a little bit. I'm not going to have nearly as many playoff points as I guess my consistency throughout the season has shown. That's not going to be a direct correlation. Didn't really win any stages, didn't really win any races, came close a lot of times. Whether it was I just wasn't aggressive enough or the cars just didn't fall my way. I think I'll finish the regular season in second here, so I believe I'll get some playoff points for that. But no, I'm just going to have to, play it smart and try and put together runs like this. Whenever we have a bigger field for, 20-ish cars around here, there's a lot that can happen. So I've just got to be smart and pay attention. And I've got a little bit of a buffer, but I mean, consistency can get you to the championship floor. So that's kind of the game plan. Just keep doing what I'm doing, and more or less just have fun and enjoy racing with everybody on Friday nights.
Well, absolutely, Evan, and it looks like you got a really good grasp on what your plan is and what your goals are for this run through the playoffs here. So congratulations on making it, getting the second place tonight. Who do you have to thank? Who do you have to shout out here on the broadcast as part of what you've done to get to this point?
No, absolutely. I have to thank Rapid Fire Pizza. They sponsor the entire league here. They're one of the league sponsors. I'm part of that one there. I have to thank Old School Ninjas. David Santini plays his part there. I got to thank Shorba's Racing Graphics. They contribute to this. The bank that I work for, First Savings Bank, I had their paint on the car tonight. So, that's pretty neat. I think that it's a pretty good looking car with the Penske-esque painted wheels on it. Always like running this car in this paint. Got to thank everybody at Great Lakes Motorsports. Pretty awesome group, doing a lot of cool stuff with our B-Car program, so getting stuff going together there. Jeff Davis, Jeffrey Meyer, he runs with me some here and there. He's definitely helps out some, and got to thank David Santini for working on the sets with me, week in and week out to put something on the track that's got a chance to get there. That's got to take the good with the bad, and excited with the second place finish, but definitely wish I could have put the bumper to him, but couldn't get close enough.
Well, you know what? There's always next week, and there's always another opportunity, Evan. You got a good couple more of them, and things are looking up for your team, so hope for the best for you, and hopefully we'll be able to talk to you again in one of these top threes again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys taking the time to do the broadcast and doing as good of a job you do, so all our friends and family can tune in and check out what's going on Friday night. So thank you guys for that.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here and an exciting show. Congratulations again on that second place, Evan. And what a just very well-spoken guy right there. What a great little insight on the race. But, we're talking about insights, and we're going to talk about a very interesting insight from this race. We got the third place finisher coming in with Trey Patton, and he's going to get to talk to Tommy Gossett.
Hi, how are you?
Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. What I was saying there, but nobody could hear me, is that you had an interesting race. We saw you qualified 7th, and then you had to start from the rear. So what happened there?
I had technical difficulties. I didn't get in the race until 5 minutes before practice ended, and I didn't get the minimum laps of practice, so I had to start in the back.
Gotcha. Yeah, we weren't sure if you had a penalty, something like that. But, man, we mentioned before, interesting race. I mean, obviously, we see here that race car was not the cleanest car out there. We saw you involved in a couple incidents. But, man, you ended up getting that thing wired in, and you were just going through, and then you find yourself in third place at the end of this thing. How did you even do that?
I don't know. I just drove, and I ended up there, to be quite honest. I didn't expect to get anything out of it. I was just trying to beat he was running the 8 car, but I think he was the 9 car. I was just trying to beat him by 2 spots to get the playoffs. So that's my goal and mission accomplished, even though he wrecked me, trying to beat him for it. But I got it, so that's all that matters.
That is all that matters. I mean, you were the defending race winner coming into tonight. I mean, I'd say considering from the night you had, I would call this a W and move into the playoffs here. I mean, from the kind of night you had, beating and banging, and then you end up on the podium here. I mean, that is definitely some momentum that can be carried on. I mean, obviously, we've seen you race around here. We know you can get it done. I mean, me personally, I know you. I mean, you're one of the quicker guys on the sim. I mean, you definitely know how to get this thing around. So, I mean, I expect you'll probably be in one of the favorites in this championship run here.
That's what I'm hoping for. Anything less than, I'll be disappointed in myself. Yeah, it's a good result getting P3, but it's all about what ifs. Wondering what if I didn't have 4 minutes of damage because of dude trying to defend his playoff hopes, and I could actually race it out. What if I didn't have my technical difficulties and could have kept my 7th? bunch of what ifs, but you know what? We'll take it. We're doing well with some good momentum.
Well, that is definitely a good way to look at it. But before we let you go, man, we're going to let you have the floor. Thank anybody that makes it happen for you.
First off, I got to thank Jacob and all his admin staff for putting on a great series. Got them jump with the broadcast. And going to me personally, I got to thank God for being in the position to be able to do this and have him do it all big nothing. I got to thank my team of Pay-to-Win setups. I got to thank a bunch of people. I got to thank Rich Forest Racing, Scouts of Bus Lots, Scouts of Construction, Thompson Caterpillar, Quick Time Motorsports Media, Pay-to-Win Setups, All's Run Diecast, Fake Sport of Lebanon, Tennessee, and Ace Hardware Steel Dealer in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Alrighty, man. Well, we definitely wanted to have you, thank everyone that makes it happen for you, because, you put on an absolute heck of a performance out there. I'm sure everyone watching your live stream had a good time. Hopefully everyone watching here had a good time. We had a good time watching you wheel and deal that thing, and hopefully we can see you do it some more and chase down a championship.
Yes, sir.
All right, Tommy. You have a great rest of your night, and good luck in the rest of your racing endeavors.
Appreciate it, Trey.
All right, everybody. That is our third place finisher, Tommy Gossett. And before we close out tonight, Joe Donahue. I know we said it earlier, but hearing these drivers and how thankful they are for everything and just how they, said everything for the race here. What are your afterthoughts of Bristol tonight?
Well, we come into a track like Bristol, short track, bull ring, a lot of emotion flying, end of the regular season, a lot of guys trying to get their last runs in at some points, momentum. You think about short track racing, what do you expect? You expect some close racing, you expect some incidents, you expect some rubbing his racing, getting up into that wall, getting all over each other, and we saw a bit of that tonight. We got a couple of yellows out of the race, but at the same time, we had some really long runs, making huge differences in the outcome of this race, and, it comes down to the basics too. David Santini very likely would have won this race had he not made his own small mistake on pit road. We basically checked all the boxes tonight. We had really good racing for long runs. We had some short runs. We had that calamity at the end of the race, and it was exciting the whole way through. Ralph Hutchinson made it fun. Tommy Gossett made it fun. Santini made it fun. TJ Crampton made it fun. These guys all they brought everything out to the table. They said, this is all I've got left from the regular season. I got to get myself ready for the playoffs, and I'm going to put 125% into this race tonight. I thought it was a really great performance and really fun, just pure, good fun tonight.
Oh, I couldn't have said it any better myself, and we're going to feed right into our results here at Bristol as we see unofficial results. Ralph Hutchinson brings it home, P1. At Bristol, Evan Longacre, brings it home, P2. Tommy Gossett, P3. Colby Baber, P4. TJ Crampton, after that spin earlier in the race, finishes P5. Tim Davis, P6. David Santini, after that late spin right there at the end that cost his race, still brings it home, P7. Kenny Meadows, P8. John Bender, P9. And Kyle Mullering finishes P10.
You roll back to the second half of this grid. You start off with Julio Villalobos, 1 lap down in 11th place. You got Ricky Flowers finishing 5 laps down in 12th. Then you go back to Chris Hansen, a very significant amount of laps behind there in 13th. You got 14th, Jacob Shorba. John Gifford is going to be 15th on the night. Cody Jordan in 16th. Richard Clement finishing P17. Matthew Van Gelder in 18th. Jeffrey Meyer 19th. 20th place is Caleb Smith. And rounding out the field tonight in 24th, first, Chandler Hayden. Just a lot of guys caught up in small incidents over the course of the night. Unfortunately, were unable to get to the finish of the race. But hey, you know what, Trey? There were plenty of cars still running at the end that made it a heck of a good time at the finish, no matter what.
Oh, yeah, these guys definitely, we've said it over and over again, they put on an absolute heck of a show. And make sure that if you want more racing action, we have more coming your way. Upcoming broadcasts, we have Nork, Tuesday night, 6:40 p.m., live on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Catch it here. Catch it here, PitStop TV. Nork's going to be running Chicagoland. They're in their playoffs. Wednesday night, 6:40. The Cars Esports Tour. We're going to be running at Hickory. I'll be in that race. So if you want to watch me be bad at race cars, you can come watch me do that. If you don't, we got plenty of the guys that actually run the Cars Tour. A lot of guys, the local short track guys on iRacing. A lot of fast guys in there. Lots of great racing. Tune in for that. And on Wednesday night at 7:30, we also have the Outlaw Sim Series at Pocono. And like I said, if you're curious on where to find all of that action, look down at this graphic below. You can follow us on social media, on Facebook at facebook.com/PitStop TV, on Twitter at twitter.com/PitStop TV_, on Instagram at instagram.com/pit_stop_TV, and you can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/c/PitStop TV1. Another thing we can't let slide here is that we definitely got to thank our crew tonight. I, myself, Trey Patton, followed by Joe Donahue. Always love working with Joe. It's been an honor working with you in the booth tonight here. Trey Shuttlesworth in the truck doing production. Jacob Zala on social media, killing it tonight. And then we have our sponsors, our partners here at PitStop TV. Tucson Sound Art, your picture, your music. You provide the image you want, and they will create a beautiful, high-framed, high-quality canvas with a built-in Bluetooth speaker. With Sound Art, you get the best of both worlds. Visit TucsonSoundArt.com for additional info, and make sure to use code PitStopTV at checkout to receive 10% off your purchase. Next up, we have Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine, because when it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy. With locations in Auburn, Lewiston, Naples, and Saco, Maine, Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine owner Ashley Boyer is a certified micropigmentation specialist who provides professional, safe, and personalized services. You can contact them at permanentmakeupinmaine.com or call or give them a text at 207-358-8683. Next up, we have BAM Racing Videos by Race Fan for the racing communities. Next up, we have Race Pace. You ever wish you could have a race engineer on speed dial? Well, now you can, thanks to Race Pace, a driver development service and setup shop, all in one. Work with our buddy Tyler, a real-world race engineer, to step up your game before your next race. Pick up pace with Race Pace. And last but not least, for our partners here at PitStop TV, can't make it happen without Whiplash Media. Whiplash Media specializes in various sim racing resources, including paint schemes, stream overlays, and the iRacing camera packs you see week in and week out on these broadcasts. As we mentioned, they are the official camera and graphic provider of PitStop TV. You can grab your iBroadcast cameras today at www.pitstoptv.com. And also, we want to include and say thanks to our series partners here at MSRA. We have Rapid Fire Pizza. Rapid Fire Pizza offers amazingly good, amazingly fast, fresh-made pizza. It's what they can do in 180 seconds. You can try one of their craft pizzas or choose from over 35 fresh toppings and a dozen different sauces to create your own personal masterpiece. You can visit one of their locations in the states of Indiana, Kentucky, North Carolina, Ohio, South Carolina, Texas, and West Virginia. Check out their website at rapidfirepizza.com. Next up, we have Old School Ninjas. Old School Ninjas is a gaming organization that focuses on building a community with close friends. If you and your friends are looking for a new group to hang out with, they welcome new individuals to the group on a red carpet and a seat at the round table. What more can you ask for with that? Go in there, have a good time with these guys. Feel free to check them out on their YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Discord. They're waiting for you. And last but not least, we have Shorba's Racing Graphics. They offer great services at affordable prices. SRG does work with iRacing paints, logos, numbers, and t-shirts. From each sale, $5 is donated to the MSRA at the end of the season for prize giveaways as a way of giving back to the community. Visit them on Facebook at Shorba's Racing Graphics. And that will do it here from the last great Coliseum. Happy to have all of you here for tonight's action, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. From all of us here at PitStop TV, Joe Donahue alongside me in the booth, Trey Shulsworth behind the scenes in the production truck, Jacob Zala on social media, I'm Trey Patton. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Before we go, make sure to follow us on PitStop TV, or follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/PitStop TV, Instagram at PitStop, at Pit_Stop_TV, on Twitter at PitStopTV_, and on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/Pit_Stop_TV, and to follow us on YouTube at youtube.com/C PitStop TV1. From all of us here, I'm Trey Patton. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good night.
SoundArt introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home. By combining the best of two products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. SoundArt ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
times of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.